TunePocket.com.
Falcon fans around the world, your boy Chase and Philip is back after a long 11-day break. Philip, we are back with episode number 26 here today for him live and in action in Baxley, Georgia. Philip, how we doing, brother, on this Saturday night? Getting ready to watch these Dirty Birds come in tomorrow morning and put a whooping on Tampa Bay down in Tampa. How we feeling?
It's been a great day. You know, we had our little jamboree today, so yeah, kind of nice. Everything turned out how we wanted. And it felt good today after a long, bumpy, but you know, thank God, great week though overall. So, you know, ready to see what we can do tomorrow.
Facts. And shout out to everybody that tunes in tonight on this little pop-up show. We have been going for a minute, so we are a little off schedule on, going live on a Saturday night. We don't usually do this on Saturday nights. Trying something out, so we'll see how it works out. Real quick, Philip, man, glad you're doing well. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit how I've been doing. Been doing pretty damn good, brother. Can't complain. Life's been good. Shout out to everybody that showed us love here on Dirty Fanatics United over this, course of several months that we started this thing up, man. We've grown tremendously. And as Philip said, today we did have our jamboree. And our first time ever as coaches, being number one in the 10U rec department football. You see that word there. It says champions. So shout out to us. Shout out to Coach CJ as well. Shout out to all the parents that brought these kids to practice. Team as well. Yeah, Philip can weigh champions for both of his teams. So shout out to that. But enough with that, man. Let's talk some Falcon football, Philip. Let's go back to last Sunday, bro. What happened? Where did everything go wrong Sunday? Real quick before you give me your thoughts about last Sunday, I felt like this was a game we should have won, Philip. This was a game that we should have walked away on the positive side of our record. Philip, your thoughts of how everything's checking out? What went wrong?
Breaking it down, everything looked good from the start of the game. Well, not really. We were down, but we adjusted and started to come back, right? Like a football team does. We adjust and come back. What killed it was going for the two. We scored down, about to be down a touchdown. If you just kick the field goal, boom, down 7.
Right.
I don't know what Smith was thinking to go for 2, but you just shut down momentum, and then you just killed the crowd as well, because the crowd has been moving, and I think they're half the reason why we're doing as good too, because they're hyping us up. We're getting a little thing going on with the fans.
Right.
Really, to me, what killed it was that going for 2 and then not getting it. Personally, I would have just took the 1, but that's my biggest complaint, and a little bit of play calling at the end of the game as well, because we still have multiple chances to come back, and we just shot ourselves in the foot. So
right. You talk multiple chances, bro. We had like 4, bro. We had 4 chances. You know what I mean? That hurt tremendously, not being able to execute down in the red zone, that extra 2-point conversion instead of taking your points there early in the fourth quarter. Yeah, you're correct. That there, I think did determine the game as far as momentum, as far as just everybody playing as a team. Well, your offense made it down there and just could not execute. Something we've seen pretty regularly here, Philip. Here in week 7? Week 7 in the NFL, I believe it is. So, I mean, This is where you should have your identity. We talked on the live, Philip, on Facebook before we actually started watching the game, and we talked about how we wanted to see a team that had their identity. That as far as saying, we wanted to see a team that came out there and played Falcon football. That was not the case Sunday. It was still an ugly game. Still some positive stats from that game, Philip. You talk about Desmond Ridder did throw 300 yards, but then we talk about the interceptions. That's 2 games now here. That's 2 games now in the NFL with 3 interceptions. Still a young rookie quarterback. There's a lot to fix there. There's a lot to be taught there in that position. Philip, your thoughts on Desmond Ridder at QB1? Is this our guy? Are we riding with Desmond Ridder? Is Desmond Ridder the future for the Atlanta Falcons?
As of right now, I still have faith in him. Certain things he has learned. I think the biggest thing, Smith finally let him off the leash a little bit. I think Smith let him do his thing, throwing for 300 yards. He has 2 games this year with 300 yards. So that's a plus side. But on some throws, he is still only eyeing down certain targets. Like previous throws where you're scanning the field, you're making smart decisions. Some of them, like the last interception.
Yeah,
I'll take that one back. He was
Philip, in the last interception, I believe Arthur Smith fessed up and said that was his fault for calling that play. It was supposed to be something different, but that's what they got in the zone. But still, you are 100% correct. He does stare down the receiver a pretty good bit. That whole play, it was going to be that.
First two, I'll blame Smith on play calling for that because one of them was in the end zone, and I don't know why you would call that certain play just running up the middle. You know what I mean? The second one, I don't remember the second one as much, but the last one, I remember the first one. The second one
was more Ridder. You are correct with the end zone pass. I think you definitely should have ran that situation. You had a Tyler Algier that got you down to the goal line in that situation. Right. I think you do continue to feed Algier or Bijan. I know it's been a kind of rough patch for Bijan, and not really a rough patch, but teams are scheming for Bijan. We knew this was going to happen, but we knew that we had the targets and we had the players that we could have a Bijan. They could game plan for Bijan, and we'd still go off with all the other targets we have on this offense. And as of now, that really hasn't been the case. Drake London doing tremendous this season. That's no issue there. There's a lot of situation where play calls are just not making sense in situations that you're in. The plays themselves may be okay, but there's just certain times that you're running plays that you should not be running.
There's plays drops.
Yeah, and then there's plays that he's calling play action where he has Ridder pulling out to the side that there's no lead blockers. That they're most of the time that's not going to happen. It's not going to work. And I'd like to see that Kyle Pitts is now getting involved a little bit in the passing game, Philip.
Looks good.
Philip, I see some comments here in the comment section. We're going to check them out here in a second. But Philip, just your thoughts real quick on somebody we haven't talked much about this year, CP. CP's been riding I wouldn't say riding the bench, but he's been injured. He's finally back. You still see little flashes of CP, but I still don't think he's being used correctly. Philip, your thoughts about the CP situation?
Still think with him, he's back, but I still think it's more of a healing thing. Like he's back, but you don't want to overexert him, type of thing. But I mean, if he can have played, then I would love to see his talents out there because you know me, I love CP, man. I love what he does. He can do it all. But I just still think it's more of a healing factor thing with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hope it ain't nothing different. You know what I mean? Like maybe possible trade. I hope it's nothing like that.
Yeah. Philip, I'm glad you talked about trade, man, because that gives us a subject to talk about on its own. Jalen Hawkins. That's why he is the cover photo for this subject, because Jalen Hawkins was one of mine and Philip's favorite cornerbacks that we signed at a young age. Jalen Hawkins has been with the Dirty Birds for quite some time now. just never could really find that groove of where he needed to be at in the NFL. So, it's tough to see Jalen Hawkins hurt as well now, injured on his first practice with the Chargers. So, our thoughts and prayers are with you, Jalen. But Philip, to keep it real, to keep it 100, I believe me and you talked about Jalen Hawkins being departure before the roster was even made. We talked about it here on the show, and we will go back sometime in the season, probably towards the end, and we're going to go back to our are we in or we out subject where we graded these players to if they would be here on the 53 or if they even make it to the end of the season. So real quick, man, we'll do a run through in the chat. Shout out to Crew Jones for checking in, brother. Much love. Shout out to Terrell Johnson, man. We appreciate you tuning in, bro. He said, rise up, fellas. Shout out to Ron Thomas, man. He said, what up, everyone? Rise up. Rise up, brother. We got to get this dub Sunday, man. Our sister, Philip Kiki, in the chat, she said, hey, bros, what you doing? Us, Kiki. We talking about them dirty birds. Kiki said, Smith needs to call better plays to help his young quarterback. Could 100% agree. Kiki also says CP should have been out there on goal line. We've seen him run people over. Facts. It was the Washington game last year.
Matter of fact, that throwing
the Chargers
play, I'm pretty sure wasn't he out there on that throwing play? He was lined up in the backfield. I'm really pretty sure.
We can right all our wrongs this Sunday, man. That's the whole thing. We're gonna talk about it here in a minute about the NFC South. It's wide open. Shout out to our boy Berto, Mr. 1000 himself, with the Bleacher Report contract. The man's doing big things over there. Check out 95 North Talk Show, man. Hit that man. Hit the sub. Hit the like. Show our brother some love. You're probably already sub because he doing it big time over there.
That. He's like that.
Shout out to Ron Thomas, man. He said, do you think the Atlanta Falcons will make another trade? But this time we get a top pass rusher. Philip, real quick, your thoughts on this comment from Mr. Ron. Ron, this is a good comment, man. We appreciate your comment, bro.
That's a good comment. I could possibly see it happening. I mean, do I know exactly what or who? For the trade, not really. Not at the moment. Not on the top of my mind. I would have to sit here and go through things and think about it. But I could possibly see it, yeah. But then again, I can't because the Nielsen said it's not all about the sacks. Because the defense is doing their thing, but in our eyes, we want to see more sacks. I do. I personally do myself. I ain't gonna lie.
Thanks. And Philip, with that comment being said, I will agree 100%. But we also got to look at we did just walk away with 5 sacks last week in the bin. So that's something you definitely want to feed off of coming into this Sunday. Because as we keep saying, this is a huge game, Philip. And Ron Thomas, man, that is a great comment, bro. Me personally, I would think so. I think you cut Jalen Hawkins for a reason. I'm pretty sure that opens up a little bit of cap space. It's just talking about a trade deal. Who would you be comfortable with trading at this moment in the season? And I'll throw out a player that I would not want to see leave the Atlanta Falcons. And Philip, that is our boy, CP. He's older in age. He's a veteran player that can still go out and make an impact on a team. Somebody that's going to make a deep run this season. The Eagles are stacked on D-line. Maybe you could talk something out with them that would give them another top receiver with CP after just signing Julio Jones. So I'm not sure. I'm not a GM. I'm not a trade artist. I don't know. But if we did, I'm down for it because, as Philip said, we do want to see more pass rushing. We do want to see more sacks in the backfield because being a team that just went out and spent so much money on defense, you want at least 30 sacks when you hit the postseason. At least 30 sacks.
I agree.
Philip, shout out to Jeff Wolf, man. He's in Tampa. He said, rise up from Roberta's. I believe that's the place that they all met up for the rise up party tonight. So if you haven't, if you go to away games and you haven't already, hold up, man. Train passing by. If you've been to games, away games, and you want to meet up with other Falcon fans, you travel by yourself, the Rouse Up Tour is the spot to be at. Check them out on Facebook, YouTube. They do live podcasts. They talk about where they're going to be meeting up at. They always do giveaways, not necessarily giveaways, but they have events that they always throw for Falcon fans. And they throw a big party on the road every away game. They're always there. Great way to meet new family, new friends, and just become even more a Dirty Bird with new friends and new family.
Nice.
Shout out to 95 North, man. He said, "Does Van Jefferson show up in the game against the Bucks?" Philip, your thoughts?
Oh, bro, I think he does. Yeah, if we could have connected to him two times that week, this past weekend, they both would have been touchdowns. So I'm looking forward to seeing Van. And I'm kind of excited to see him as well.
Yeah, when I seen that he was active, his first week in Atlanta, that there alone let me know that we're gonna try to get some production out of Jefferson. His first play in the game, his first shot from Ritter was a deep ball, just a little overthrown. Spots there that we can coach on with Ritter, and that's what I'm saying, man. We're just a couple plays away. That play there gets you out of the situation you was in the fourth quarter. So just stuff like that. Man. I do think Van Jefferson will be an impact this week against the Bucks. Yes, I do, because they're going to try to take out Kyle Pitts. They've already seen Pitts' production. They're going to try to limit what Bijan does. And let's be real. Let's be real. The Bucks secondary is not too shabby.
Oh, I agree. But you remember, I'm gonna take it back. All right, we've been talking about identity, this and there. I'm gonna take it back to 2016. We were in the same situation. We were 3-3. I don't know if it was in Tampa, but we were 3-3. We didn't have an identity yet. We couldn't get things on track. We didn't have everything planned out like the rest of the season did. But after that, we went 4-3. After that, we just kept going. I think we lost one game, 2 games after that, and it was to the Chiefs and Chargers. I remember that season. We finally figured out our identity, like you said. We can still find this identity and keep it going. Starting with the Mark, we get this win, get a little confidence, and let's get into it, man. So I'm hoping that this is the spark that does it, man. I hope we can do it.
Ron Thomas in the chat said Hunter, talking about the trade deal, Hunter from Minnesota. That's who he would like to trade up for. That would be a good trade. That is a veteran that's proven himself. He is still continuing to prove himself in Minnesota this season. Once again, it's just about who do you trade for Hunter? Does the Vikings trade for CP to make a homecoming for CP to go ahead and finish off his career as a Minnesota Viking? Who knows? We'll see. I believe we got one more week before the trade deadline. I'm not sure when it closes.
I think so.
Or maybe this is the last week. I'm not too sure. Shout out to my boy Jesse Shake. He said, "What's up, Chase? Co-worker there. Shout out to you, Jesse. That's my brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate you tuning in. Philip, man, let's talk a little about the NFC South, brother. While we got a moment, we got some people here. Let's talk about them Dirty Birds, bro. Let's talk about does the Dirty Birds bounce back?
I think we can.
Philip, what is your recipe to success to bounce back, to be that team that we need to be? Because, Philip, this Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons can take the NFC South and be the holder of the number 1 spot. What is the recipe to success tomorrow in Tampa Bay?
Starting off, we know they got a hellacious D-line. We know that for a fact for the past couple of years. Vita Vea.
Philip, real quick, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you right there real quick. Just real fast, I did some research on the injury list for the game, as in our injury list and Tampa's injury list. We'll start with ours. Full participation. That list is NA because nobody is on the injury list this week. Limited participation, NA. Did not practice, NA. So we are a full go heading into Tampa for what I would say is the most important game we played all season. Tampa Bay had a full participation in linebacker Anthony Nelson. He was on concussion protocol. Defensive tackle Vita Vea is out, limited participation with a foot. Did not practice for rest reasons is Mike Evans and Levante Davis. Vita Vea was upgraded to limited participation today. So we may not see a Vita Vea tomorrow. So that's something there definitely to look at tomorrow. That's something to watch out for before the game.
Okay. So if we can, it'll be a blessing because he is pretty good. We all know Vita is an outstanding player. He plays for the Bucks, but we got to be real. He's a dog. You know. But my thing is with that, they still have a tough D line. If we can get the run game going to open up a few passes, because once you get that run game going, then you can start passing. But we do know they have a good little secondary out there, so we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to be on our toes the whole game. We're gonna have to be on point every play, man. I mean, I know not everything's gonna be perfect because there's no such as a perfect game in the NFL. Just being honest,
Right.
But
right.
we're gonna have to, do our thing, play Falcons football. We're gonna have to hit certain routes like we have been doing, get to them 300 yards again. But this time, let's settle down and stop being so aggressive in the game, and just take our points. We gotta have smart decisions by coach. Because last game was a little off, but we gotta certain things like that. We're gonna have to be better on, not get out coached on, and just overall just be smarter.
Right. If you are tuned in on YouTube, man, I just dropped the link on the YouTube for the live chat. So if you want to come by and just let us boys know, how you feeling about your Dirty Birds. What do you think we need to do to take the next step Sunday? Philip, real quick, I'll feed off you, bro. I think to get this thing rolling, bro, we got to get the offense started, man. We got to get started early. Last week, you did get your first your first opening drive touchdown. So that there was an accomplishment. But like we said, from there on, it was kind of downhill. So I want to see your offense get started and get started solid in the first and second quarter. I don't want to see a game where we have to come back. I'm tired of watching games that we have to come back. I want to see Bijan get active early too. D-line, we got to get pressure. And as well, with special teams, Philip, special teams gave up, I would say 7 because they put us in really bad field positioning with the punt return. Good. And with being said, that to me is what we need to get going now, as well as Tyler Algier. He hasn't run the ball near enough this season, I don't think.
They're not.
CP, man, let's get CP involved. Get Drake London started early. And like our boy Ron Thomas said here in the chat, Desmond Ridder has to have ball control. He cannot stare down the receiver this week. We come away with 3 picks tomorrow. We can have a 300-yard game, but let's not have three picks.
I 100% agree.
Let's check the chat real quick, Philip. Ron Thomas said first-round pick for that trade, Philip. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, could be worth it, though. So, I mean, it's
Mr. Ryan, I'm going to have to disagree, brother. I'm sorry, but I can't give away my first-round pick for a veteran. Only reason why I say that is because you have maybe 4 more productive years out of Hunter in the NFL, and that's a question mark if he stays healthy. I think you have to trade a veteran that's already on the roster. If you're going to trade a pick, maybe a third or fourth, and you're going to have to give a player along with that. But I don't think you trade a first round for a guy that's kind of seasoned in the NFL. Still a beast. Still definitely a beast. But I don't know. Kiki in chat, she said Derek Carr needs to get his CDL. Shit. Not the CDLs. She said stop throwing the ball, Derek. You're broken down. You need an oil change. Shit. So our defense has to hit Baker ASAP. Facts. We got to get to the quarterback.
We got to shake him up a little bit. We got to shake.
If you want to, like I said, man, if you want to join on, hit the link here on YouTube. If you're on Facebook watching, head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share. Definitely leave a comment for us. We greatly appreciate it. Shout out real quick, give a roll call of who's in the chat on Facebook because I can't see it on StreamYard. Let's see. Shout out to Ron Thomas. Shout out to Troy Mack. Shout out to Jimmy Pearson. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Anthony Tuggle. Shout out to Willie Lovis, Jeremiah Sutton. Shout out to Ron Thomas, TJ Walker, Jeff Wolf, Alan Wood. Shout out, Grandpa. Appreciate you tuning in. And shout out to my boy, Crew Jones, man. We appreciate all y'all. If you haven't already, leave a like and be sure to hit the subscribe. Also, Philip, We got a Facebook group, man. If you haven't already, head over to Dirty Fanatics United on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Out of your Falcon Mind in the chat, say, hey, Chase, Mike here. 1, do sandwiches taste better cut in half? 2, did you just give the Bucks secondary a compliment? I'm hoping my stream was buffering. I heard you wrong. 3, Chase equals GOAT. Shout out to Out of Your Falcons Mind. Shout out to Mike for tuning in, man. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, as bad as I hate to say it, man, they do have a decent secondary, so we have to stay at home with the ball. I don't think we come out there and we throw crazy numbers tomorrow, but we can
can't
show
expose it. We can't expose it though.
We can. We definitely can. We have the targets to do it, and maybe this is the game that we get it rolling. We get everything in touch and see the Dirty Birds we've been wanting to see since week 1. Man, we had a solid performance week 1, but you haven't had that blowout game yet that I think every fan wants and needs. Out of your Falcon Mind said, is the running game struggling because of the passing game, or is the passing game struggling because of the running game? Philip, your thoughts?
I don't know. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one right there. You could argue it could go either way. It could go either way. Sir, it depends on the day that you have. That's all I'm gonna say. Because some days the running game is beautiful. Some days the passing game looks good. But
I'm sure this is still Mike. And so, Mike, what I would say is I think the passing game is ruining the running game. And maybe in some instances, you have such a good running game, it's affecting your passing game. That's weird to say, but teams stack the box on you. And with a young quarterback with so much pressure in your face, I will say shout out to the O-line for kind of being pretty decent at pass rushing. If anything, right. I would say our run blocking O-line is the cause of your run game struggling, and it's also the cause of why we can't get passes out quicker. There's too many people in Ritter's face when he's making throws at times. We got to be a team that makes it easy for Ritter, man. We got to give Ritter, if you think about to week 1 through week 4, you had the easier passes for Ritter. Maybe we just took too big of a leap from week 2 to week 7 to try to, show a bigger side of the playbook that we're not ready for yet. I'm not sure.
Right.
But I think there's still an identity crisis there, and I think we need to figure out what we got going on.
Right.
Kiki in the chat, she said, we need to find balance. I don't have Ritter. I'm pretty sure she said, I don't want Ritter having to throw that much. And that's a fact, Key. That's what I'm talking about with making it easier on your quarterback. You got to make it easy on a young quarterback. Philip, we know as well, just as good as I do, it's hard to play in the NFL. Great quarterbacks come out of college all the time and fold when they hit the NFL. To me, for Desmond Ridder to be a third-round pick, to be passed on so much in the draft.
He's doing a decent job.
He's doing a solid job, man. This is a third-round pick we got. The only third-round pick that you know of, Philip, is Russell Wilson that came out his rookie season and balled. And yes, I'm counting this as Desmond Ridder's rookie season. I'm sorry, but I am.
And I get it, man. We're all used to Matt, man. We all love Matt. Matt's doing Matt did his thing. Even though during this time there, a lot of people didn't agree with him neither, but we all got to acknowledge Matt was doing his thing. We can't be, just stuck in the past.
Matt Ryan was that dog. Anybody don't like it.
We can't be stuck in the past and still worrying about what's going on, like with Matt and what we had. We got to focus on now. We got spoiled out the word I'm gonna say. We got spoiled with certain quarterback things with Matt. We just give Ritter a little bit time. I feel like he's gonna be all right though. I think we're gonna be good.
Philip, you said speaking on now. Let's speak about right now because in the NFC South, the NFC South is wide freaking open.
It's anybody's chance.
Anybody can take this division right now, and I think it's gonna be these Dirty Birds. Starting from the top, man. We're gonna do an NFC South standings. You got the Buccaneers sitting at 3-2, 0.600. You got the Falcons sitting at 3-3, 0.500. You got the Aints sitting at 3-4, 0.429. And you got them pansies sitting at 06.000. So tomorrow afternoon, Philip, it is a necessary win to take the division and also, make your mark on the NFL and show who you are. Philip, you agree as much as I agree. Tomorrow is definitely a must win.
Must win.
Tomorrow is
Absolutely.
definitely a must win. And I think it's very, very able to come away with this win. I know a
We
lot of
could.
Dirty Birds
Oh
travel
yeah.
to Tampa, and I know a lot of them is going to hope to come back with that dub. So I hope these Dirty
Y'all
Birds have
show
it
out
all
for me.
together. Arthur Smith, man, I need some good play callings, babe.
Come on,
I gotta
Smith.
have some good play calling, Smith. Man, come on,
Yeah,
brother.
Smitty. We need you right here, big dog.
Well, I already put that one up. Kiki said, I think Ritter has the potential. Notice him and Pitts and London have found their groove. We
Hey,
talked about that, about Pitts finding his groove with Desmond Ritter, man. It's finally
look
there.
solid.
If we can get Pitts 100%, it's going to be even
Oh,
deadlier.
it's gonna be dangerous. I'm telling you. But just imagine he's doing this all by himself, like
Kiki
with
said
the
Panthers
first
can even
defense.
tank because they still won't have their first round pick. Facts. And that goes back to my comment to Mr. Ron, man. I just don't want to be that team that goes and traded for a veteran defensive tackle, and you come
And
away and
that
you don't have
happened.
a first round pick. We got to have that first round, man. Bubba Gump in the chat with the emojis, red and black. Shout out to you, Bubba Gump, man. We appreciate the love. If you're on YouTube, man, hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe. Real quick, man, we're going to do a W ad. It's been a minute since we've been on here, so shout out to W. Shout out to W, man. If you haven't already, head over to W, man. It's a Jitterless Energy Blend. Check out them. Use our discount code DirtyBirds, all caps. That's DirtyBirds, all caps. Bubba Gump in the chat said the offense is so close to breaking wide open. Art just needs to stop over himself. Philip, I would agree with Bubba Gump's comment here, man. He said overthinking himself. I agree
Hey, I
100%,
agree.
man.
I agree. It seems like he's questioning his own self. Just do your thing, man. You've done this thing. You've done this over in Tennessee. You took your team to the playoffs. I mean, no, I mean, yeah, you had Ryan Tannehill as quarterback, but that's besides the point. But you still done this thing with a worse quarterback. That's my point about it. Like,
Fact.
just don't overthink yourself. Just do it, man. It's what we told our kids, man. Just go out there and do you. Don't worry about everything else. If we stick together, we're gonna do this. That's all that matters.
Facts. Philip, with that being said, man, we about wrapped up this episode, but real quick, we can't forget to announce our giveaway, man. If you haven't already, head over to this link. It is in the description on YouTube. Head over to YouTube, hit the description. I will put the link on Facebook groups and Dirty Fanatics United. But if you haven't already, man, be sure to hit the merch store, buy you a hoodie, buy you a shirt, whatever it is. Shout out to LaMarcus Boyd, Dwayne Ruffin, and I believe one more other that has bought some Dirty Fanatic United merch. Shout out to y'all guys. We greatly appreciate it. Your names are entered in the 10-person raffle. When we get 10 merch sales, we will announce who is the winner. So if you want to be entered into a free game day ticket or a free jersey of your choice, be sure to hit Bonfire and look up Dirty Fanatics United. We're on there. This is just a little test run. We'll be adding on some more hats, some other stuff that we have to push some merch, man. We got all kinds of brands. We got gray shirts. We got black shirts. We got hoodies. We got gray
Go
hoodies.
get them.
Whatever you want, man. Go help us out. Go support us. All
Especially in this
support
cold
goes
season.
to the channel. Yeah, all support goes to the channel, man. And we're just trying to push as much good content as we can. We greatly appreciate everybody that showed us love on the way to 1K, man. We're at 234, man. So if you know anybody that hasn't subbed, please tell them about Dirty Fanatics United. We just the Falcon podcasters that love the Dirty Birds and just like spreading good content to other Falcon
Just
fans. So
love
shout out to
football
y'all.
too, man.
Philip, real quick, man, before we get out of here, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to God, man. That's the main one. For him, none of this would be happening right now, man. So shout out to God for giving us the ability to be sitting here and do this. Amen. Shout out to everybody for the support after this long break. After I ain't shown my
11 or
face.
12 days.
I ain't shown my face in a while, so this is like so shout out to everybody coming back. It's good to have everybody here, and just shout out for the podcast, shout out today, the good times today, and then always, man, rise up, baby.
Yes, sir. You heard it from the man, Philip, a.k.a. Avitz Avenue, man. Shout out to you, brother. Real quick, man, we will be live on Facebook tomorrow before the game, just giving our thoughts of what we need to see, what we, just our game day vibes tomorrow, man. Just getting ready to watch some Dirtbirds kick off. If you want to chat it up, come chat it up with Dirty Fanatic Shootout on Facebook at DFU. We will be live, just chatting some Falcon football. Like always, man, as we always say, rise up. Shout outs to everybody that tuned in tonight. Like Philip said, we appreciate y'all stopping by and hanging out with us during this long little break. We've had some personal things going on. A lot's been going on here the past few weeks. So, as always, man, shout out to all the faithfuls from day one. Shout out to you, Philip. Shout out to the Dirty Birds, man. We're going to get this thing rolling. It's bounce back week, baby. It's bounce back week, baby. So, shout out to the Dirty Birds, man. Rise up. And as always, A-Town down.